Hey there, guys. As we get started today, finishing up some of the last few topics of quadratic functions. Um, you can read for yourself right there on the screen. It says we're going to talk about what the vertex form of a quadratic equation is, or quadratic function. While we haven't emphasized it so much, all the quadratics that we've been looking at have been in standard form. That's the ax squared plus bx plus c. So we're going to look at a different form of a quadratic called vertex form. Appropriately named for, I'll show you on the next screen. Okay, take a look. The first equation there, it says y equals x squared. That's the general form or the standard form of a quadratic. Below that, x plus h, that should say x minus h. Let me change that. X minus h squared plus k. That is what we call a vertex form of an equation. And below that, I've included an example of an equation in vertex form. Now, you go to yourself, why is that equation written that way? Well, think about what it's named. It's called the vertex form. So when you look at this equation, believe it or not, right here, these two numbers here will tell us what the vertex is, what the turning point is of our parabola. So when I take h and k, that would be the turning point. So in this case, it's 3. Now you might go, well, shouldn't it be negative 3? That's a x minus 3. Yeah, but the formula is x minus h. So if that's a minus, we look at it as positive 3. 5 is the k value. So that means 3, 5 is the turning point of this particular parabola. And since it's got a positive x value, this is going to be facing up. So that would also be a minimum value as well. Now, I want you guys to have your calculator handy today because we're going to explore what the graphs of these things look like just by simply looking at them with the graphing calculator. In fact, I'm going to type this one in that we just did right here, just so you can see that the turning point is at 3, 5. So I'm going to do x minus 3 squared plus 5. Now I'm just going to look at the graph, and you'll see for yourself. Look where that turning point is. It's about over 3 and up 5. That's the minimum value on that thing. And I got that by simply looking at the equation in vertex form. Now, I'm going to teach you more about that in some coming slides, but just have your calculator handy as we go through this. Okay, let me clear off what we got on the screen, and let's get right into it. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to explore what is the effect of that minus 2 in the parentheses. Like, what is that doing to my graph? So I'm going to pull up right here my graphing calculator. What you see already graphed on the screen there is y equals x squared. So let me just put that in right there. That's like your standard, parabola. So let's see what x minus 2 will do. So go y here, x minus 2 squared. There's not going to be anything here, so let me just delete these. Delete. Okay, so x minus 2 squared. Let's see what this graph does. It looks like, if you said it looks like it shifted to the right too, you'd be right. So the fact that this thing here was a minus 2, the effect that it has is it shifted right 2. And I bet you that if that was an x plus 2, that would have shifted to the left 2. In fact, I know it would. I'll show you if you don't believe me. Let me go back and change this to a plus 2 and look at what it does. It shifts it to the left 2. Okay, so maybe we write that down someplace. That's an important idea. All right, let's now look at the effect of doing a plus 2 and a minus 4. Now notice it's not in the parentheses this time. On the screen, you see your general form, y equals x squared. So let's see, let me clear this off. What does x squared plus 2 do to the graph? If you're going it shifted it up, you're right. If you said shifted it up 2, you're even more right. You're exactly right. Looks like that plus 2 at the end moves it up 2. And let's see what a minus 4 does. I bet you can already predict. It's not really a cliffhanger when you already know the answer. Down 4. Yep, you got it. So it appears like if I have something in the parentheses, it moves it left or right. If I have something on the outside, it appears to move it up or down. So you know what's coming next. What happens when we have both? So we got a minus 3 in parentheses and a plus 1. Well, number one, let's just point out that now is in what we call vertex form. I sort of talked about that earlier. But let's see what the graph of this will do. I think it's going to do both. We have x minus 3. So that tells me, just thinking about what we did before, that should shift to the right 3. And plus 1 means it should shift up 1. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Is it right 3 and up 1? Absolutely. Yep. And guess what? The turning point is 3, 1. And that was something that I had talked about before, that this is going to tell us what the turning point is. So 3, 1 is the vertex or the turning point. Hence the name vertex form of a quadratic. All right. So that's that. Let's go right into a couple of examples as we kind of recap here. Now remember, this is the wrong equation. That's supposed to be x minus h. I don't know how I made that mistake there. All right. Anyway, so the h value is going to determine whether it moves left or right. The k value is going to determine whether it goes up or down. And the h and the k together make up the turning point, or what we call the vertex. So let's go without the use of our graphing calculator. Let's see if we can figure out what is the turning point and how does each one of these move. All right, so the first one, the important things to look at are the -1 and the +4. So that -1 tells me it shifts right 1, and the 4 tells me it goes up 4. So right 4 and up 1, my turning point, 1, 4. Second one, all right, the +5 tells me left 5, the +6, up 6. So left 5 and up 6, -5, 6, my turning point. And the last one, looks like it goes +4, so that's to the left 4. That's the hardest thing. When the one in the parentheses, it's sort of opposite of what you'd expect. It says +4, but that means left 4. And the -12 is down 12. So left 4 and down 12. -4, -12 is my turning point. Okay, when you go to try your homework tonight, it's going to ask you to describe how it moves, left, right, up, or down. So do that in words. And then the second part of the homework asks you just to tell what the vertex is. So you can just write that out. All right, good luck. Hope this helped. Again, if you have any questions, reach out on Google Meet or come to one of our Meet sessions.